So it's March 27th right now. It's a Friday. 40 degrees. It's going to get into the 50s. So I'm going to head to this big swamp that I've been wanting to scout for a couple years now, and I just haven't made it over there yet. It looks like it's got really good habitat from aerial imagery. So I wanted to get over there early in the scouting season, because I don't want to be eaten alive by bugs, and there's no leaves on the trees, and I know the vegetation is going to be super thick in there, so this will just help speed things up. The sound will be as fresh as it was before the snow started to fly in November. So I will see you guys at the swamp. So this is the type of habitat I'm dealing with today. It's a black spruce swamp with some cattails underneath, which it's really thick cover, and I think they're gonna want to bed in it. So I'm just gonna walk around the perimeter, see if I can find any scrapes or rubs, and hopefully those lead to some trails, and then I'll follow the trails into the swamp. I brought my hip boots in case I need to get into some deeper water. So I've only gone maybe 100 yards from the power line, really. I'm on the public land right now, and I've come to a scrape. Doesn't look too good, too impressive anyway, but it's a scrape anyway, and I've already seen 2 rubs, and they were on small trees, but they were fairly high up on the tree, so can't read into it too much, but we'll keep walking here. And then a couple yards later came to another scrape. It is a massive scrape right here. That's all tore up, and you can see this limb here, it's all twisted right up. So there's an aggressive buck in here last year, so that's a good sign for only walking 100 yards. So hopefully I start seeing some bigger rubs, and maybe I'll find a shed. 20 yards from that big scrape, and came to this. Just a huge rub. So that's good. It's a good sign. It's kind of old, but that's alright. Old sign means that there's probably another one in here somewhere. I think over here there's a more fresh one. Yep, and I saw some tracks going into the swamp over here. They weren't very big, but here they are. So I might just follow those out into the swamp. I think what I'm going to do is keep going around the edge of the swamp, and then if I don't see anything better than what I'm seeing here, then I'm going to come back to this spot and just head straight out to the swamp. Well, I got as far as I could in my circle around that swamp, and I came to a pretty good sized stream that I couldn't cross. But it's about as far as I wanted to go anyway today. So I'm heading back to where I saw that nice rub and that big scrape, and I'm just gonna follow that out into the swamp a little ways. There's a really small island out there that that buck could be bedding on, but it's one of the only true islands in the swamp, and because that rub and that scrape are not too far from there, I'm thinking that big buck could be out there. But it's really good habitat in here. It's a lot of maleberry, winterberry, and switchgrass. And there's deer tracks coming out in here, so I know they're using it anyway. When I first started to get into the swamp, I saw a bunch of rubs. There's probably like a half a dozen rubs just right at the edge of the swamp. So I know that they are at least coming out of the swamp right there, but I don't know if it's after dark or what, so I'm gonna try to get in as close to whatever's making those rubs and see if I can set up a game plan if I find a good tree, and come back and prep a tree later on. It's gotten a little bit drier like I keep going, which I'm kind of surprised at. And that's good. So hopefully there's some good bedding in here. You can see the discoloration here and here, and he broke through there a little bit. So it wasn't a super aggressive rub, but it's a rub, and it's on a decent sized tree. I'm seeing a lot of deer hair. I'm seeing quite a bit of tracks in here, some rubs, and I'm about halfway to that island now. So I think I'm gonna see some good stuff out there. There's trails running everywhere. I thought they might just be drainage, just some drainages, but it's definitely deer trails. There's hair covered. They're shedding now, and there's just hair covering them. Well, so I'm here. I'm getting pretty close to my island now. It is right here with these tall trees. You can tell what is not island because it's all just short spruces. I'm like right at the edge of the island in the swamp right now. So behind me is the island. Haven't even gone up in it yet, and there's already 2 fresh rubs on some decent trees. And he broke a lot of branches off, so that's a really good sign that he's got some antlers. Over here too. And they're both facing the same direction. So he's probably heading out through here. He's probably heading out through there when he gets up from his bed, because he's probably bedding on here. Looks like I can already see some other rubs on this island just from standing right here. But yeah, I'm excited to check out this island. Well, I've scouted this island. It's pretty small. Quite a few rubs on it. There's probably like a dozen or so. Half of them are older, a little bit older. Some are a little bit fresher. I expected to see like a little bit. I expected it to be a little bit better out here. I thought that the buck out here would feel so comfortable he'd be tearing it up, but that's not the case. But I do still think it's a good spot. I'll probably come back out here some other time in the summer and put up a cell cam. I don't have any cell cams yet, but this would be a sweet spot to put one. And I'll just monitor it and see what size bucks are in the area. For the size of this swamp, and I really haven't seen anything indicating hunting pressure. I feel like there's got to be some big ones in here. It'd be pretty sweet to be able to get up in one of these trees up here, these real tall trees, overlooking the shorter shrubby stuff. There's some deer trails going through here. I'm not sure if they really prefer to go through this stuff, but it does look like there's some trails. I think I could see a deer in this stuff if I was up high. It's pretty thick, but it's fairly short, so it's not like cattails where if there's a buck walking in that, you're lucky to see his antlers. It's a sweet rifle season spot. I am going to try to hunt this with a bow though if I get some good pictures. Well, I just cut some really fresh tracks and they're big, and I'm pretty close to the mainland now, so the direction they're traveling in though, it does look like it came from in the swamp, so potentially coming off that island there. There wasn't enough snow out in the swamp to see any tracks really, because they just dissolve. That looks like it's going to be a nice buck. So I'm definitely going to be putting a trail cam out here. I'm heading back to the car now, and that's going to do it for today.